Hi everybody, it's Lee from the Jessops Academy team. You're joining us out in the Peak District at the moment. We're here just after first light. We're photographing Winnett's Pass down in front of us. We've got the road leading through the gorge itself with Hope Valley in the distance there. There's absolutely beautiful mist rolling in. The light is looking stunning at the moment. It's making everything look really painterly in 3D with the deep shadows around. And we're really getting that through on the camera at the moment. So Ian, tell me what settings you've got going on here, mate. What are you going for?
Yeah, so at the moment I'm using f14, ISO 100, just to give us a real nice depth of field.
Yeah, because it gives us a nice quality image as well, won't it?
That's right, yeah. And then if I do get a good shot, can blow it up nice and big and print it out, following the leading line of the road. So my focus point's about a third of the way in. Yeah. And then I'm just bracketing using my shutter speed.
What are you doing by bracketing, mate? Are you taking the shot a bit darker and then...
Yeah, absolutely. So knocking the shutter speed down first of all, and then up afterwards. So we've got a variation in exposure. And with the idea of bracketing, you can then merge them all together. So you get a good range of shadow and highlights when we go into post-production.
It was definitely worth getting up at 5 in the morning for. So we're here a bit after sunrise itself, which is what we wanted to do. We wanted to capture the mist rolling in, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely breathtaking. So it's well worth it.
I'll be sorry to go. Actually, I could stay up here for another hour. It's fabulous.
It is. It's a stunning location. It's amazing how much it's all changed so much in the time we've been here, hasn't it? So, incredible. What did you think of your filters?
Filters, yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to going back and looking at them in a bit more detail in post. But from looking on the back of the screen, work to treat, and the system itself from Lee, so easy to just fit together.
It is. It's brilliant.
Pop it on and off. Sometimes when you're doing landscape photography, you've got to move at pace. Yeah. You know, and that system really does help you do it. It
sounds silly, but I had the old holder, Lee holder, for about 10-15 years. And this new holder, although it works in much the same way, it's easier to use. You know, the filters just slide in much easier and everything as well. It's been really nice. But
and the new locking mechanism on the side, which means you can spin it and then lock it, so you don't accidentally knock it. You know, really good.
Yeah, fantastic. But yeah, awesome, mate. Let's go get some breakfast, regroup, and we'll go out again this afternoon. We'll go to some woodland this afternoon and do some shots through there.
Sounds good. Cool.
Awesome.
Okay, Lee, so another wonderful location. What are we going to look for in this particular place?
Well, first of all, we've come to Derwent Valley, which is the famous dams that the dam busters practice their raids on. So a really cool area, and we're photographing in the woodland. What we want to do is try and photograph in this dappled light that we've got at the moment, and just try and...
Because it is really bright. We're sort of midday now, aren't we?
Yeah, and that's because we went and did our sunrise shoot this morning, so... Ideally, we'd want to be here in that kind of early morning, still with a bit of mist around and things as well. But we're trying to make use of this dappled light that we've got on this gorgeous day. For me, this area's a little bit too pristine, so I think we'll go a little bit deeper into the woodland and find some cool stuff. And what I want to do is kind of look for those kind of isolated trees or pockets of light shining on them as well. We'll have a look for some more bluebells. This patch isn't quite thick enough for me.
No, and actually the woodland is just not dense enough really, is it, to get that light that we need. So I think you're right, we need to go deeper.
Yeah, definitely. Let's get on it, let's go.
Okay. Yeah, so the biggest challenge with photographing in the woods is the light will obviously dip. It's also quite variant, because if you get wind, a pocket of light you see 1 minute falling on flowers or grass can just be gone the next. So you do have to wait for the moment, and obviously if the bright sunlight you're waiting for is also behind a cloud, that can delay things as well. Lee, who's with me, also getting in my shot, that's always a challenge. Oh, he's gone now. So, and the other thing obviously is, because your light's lower, and if you want a deep depth of field like I do right now, I'm shooting at f11, my shutter speed has dropped to 1/4 of a second, so opted for the tripod. Even though the S1R's got terrific image stabilization system, I'm still keeping it safe from using a tripod. I think that wind's just dropping now, so I'm going to go and take this shot.
So what I've been doing here is just watching and waiting to see if the light on this scene would change. I found this very young tree in amongst a few older dead trees. And I quite like the juxtaposition between the kind of new life versus the old life. That was my thinking when I was looking at the image. But there's just not enough light on the subject for me at the moment. There's a little bit on the very top of the tree, but I'd kind of like that kind of more youthful kind of glow to it. So it's a location I've marked on my phone for the GPS coordinates. So I'm going to come back here at some point and try and get it. Maybe towards autumn when the colours just start to change a bit more, because I really think that would make a special shot. But unfortunately I just don't think it's going to happen today, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and find Ian and we'll go and find something else.
It's certainly possible to do most landscape photography without a tripod until you're running obviously at slower shutter speeds. Modern cameras now have an amazing image stabilization system, but you get to a point where that motion blur will occur. And landscape photographers generally work at slower shutter speeds, so tripods are most of the time a necessity.
How are you getting on, mate?
Yeah, not too badly.
Yeah.
Bit of a challenge with the wind.
That's looking like a good shot though there, mate.
Yeah, it's all right. It's just the wind just taking that branch, so I've just kind of been waiting for my moment. Even though it's lovely weather, we've still got that tiny breeze, haven't we?
Yeah, it's just fluttering just a little bit enough, isn't it, to cause a bit of movement.
But we've got the sort of rustic leaves in the foreground. Yeah. And then I like how it layers out. So you've got that untouched grass, and then you've got the tree trunks.
Yeah, you've just got that beautiful little bit of light on the grass in the foreground as well.
So we'll see what it looks like in post, but yeah, I'm quite happy with that.
Nice one. Well, I've been at the top. It's really quite bright at the top up there.
Okay.
So I think what we'll do is head back down towards the reservoir where we saw the bluebells earlier and see if we can get some good shots of those, mate.
Okay, great stuff. All right, I'll just pack up the gear.
Awesome, let's go. This is a pretty special spot, isn't it, mate? We're enjoying this.
Yeah, sun's dipped a little bit now as well, which is helping. And we've got a canopy of trees behind us, and that light's coming in, isn't it, Lee? Flooding this area.
Yeah, it's amazing. These bluebells are looking stunning. I'm having so much fun. I'm just trying to be a bit creative and do something a bit different. I've got some cool shots of the bluebells, like with a nice shadow depth of field. Now I'm just messing about with just doing some intentional camera movement. So I've slowed the shutter speed right down to 1/10 of a second, and I'm literally just lifting the camera as I'm shooting.
Oh, okay, cool. So you're getting that lovely blue streaks of blur then?
Yeah, it's something fun. It's a bit different. I like it, so you know.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Well, it's all a case of wait and see, really, depending on how much of a colour show we get in that sky. At the moment, it's really, really bright. So I've got my composition set up with this tree on the right-hand side, just poking out the rock face, which looks quite cool. And it's a slightly different shade of green to the rest of the heather in front, so it should pop. all depending on that light. And this
Yeah.
is the fun of landscape photography. You just never know what the sky's going to do.
Exactly, mate, exactly. I think it's just going to be a case of we'll wait it out, see what happens tonight, you know.
It is a big contrast. I've got 2 ND grads in, and even now that's still, you know, not handling the sky particularly well.
No, that's working out that you've got about 5 stops of filtration going on the sky.
Yeah.
You know, that's just the vast difference between the
Yes, huge.
brightness of the landscape and the sky up there at the moment. And it's all caused by this white cloud we've got
Yep.
in front of us at the moment. It's just holding a lot of light in it. But
Yeah. Anyway, what are you going to do, Lee?
I am going to set up on these rocks down here. I want the rocks in the foreground. I'm going to have the same issues as you at the moment with that sun, but I'm just going to sit and wait it out, mate. And
Well, don't get too close to the edge, will you?
no, I'll try not to.
I'm hanging on for dear life.
I'll try not to get too close, mate. Just don't look over, you'll be fine.
Tony's a bit close to the edge as well.
He
I'm
is a
happy
little
about that.
At the moment, I've got the edge of the rocks in the foreground, the trees below us, which are just starting to catch a bit of colour at the moment, and the kind of hills as they all kind of roll into one, and it's looking really good at the minute. As Ian's already said, the exposure is pretty difficult to balance at the moment. So what I'm doing is I'm going for a 5-shot bracket, and with that I'm using 100 ISO. That's going to just make sure I've got a really good, clean, crisp quality image. F11, and then I'm altering my shutter speed, starting at 125th of a second, which is showing me at -2 stops underexposed. That's bringing all the detail out in the clouds, which is looking awesome. So I'm taking a shot there. My next shot is at a 60th of a second, which is -1. Let's just get that there. Next shot is a 30th of a second, which is showing me a correct exposure on the light meter there. But if I was just shooting that normally, what that's doing is completely blowing out the sky. And what I mean by that is there's no detail in the clouds at all. And then I'm just going to do a couple more showing at +1 and +2. So what that's going to do is going to give me all this lovely detail that's down in front of me in the trees, and bring all that detail out there in the rocks as well. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all those images together in Lightroom in a HDR merge, and that's going to give me lots and lots of detail in the image, giving me a nice balanced exposure. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to switch to my filter system and use the grads. I do like doing a HDR shot every now and again, but sometimes it can look a little cartoon-like if it's a bit overdone. So I still like to use filters to try and balance the shot as much as possible beforehand. So I like to capture as much detail in the image as I can to give me plenty to work with later on. So obviously I've got some very expensive equipment with me. I'm very lucky that I work for a photographic retailers and we've got access to this fantastic kit. Panasonic have very kindly lent us the S1R along with the S24-105 lens here. So obviously a new camera to market, so they've been very kind to let us take it out and get some sample images from it. So far it's fantastic, absolutely loving it. As some of you may have already seen, I've taken it to Iceland where we got some really great results from it. But you don't need mega expensive kit to come out and enjoy the landscape, you know. I quite often walk around with just my phone in my hand taking shots of the landscape, you know, and I use those as reference images to come back to later on. But I also like to post quite a lot of those photos on Instagram. One of the images I took this morning was on my phone, and it's actually really good. But yeah, you don't need massive expensive kit. Your phone, entry-level SLRs, compact system cameras, small compact bridge cameras, anything like that is fantastic to go and do some landscape photography. So I like landscape photography so much because it gives me a sense of a kind of peace, if that makes sense. I find it very relaxing. I've got a very busy day job where I'm travelling a lot, and being able to come out somewhere like this, you know, it's just my meditation. You know, it's just find it so relaxing and rewarding as well. there's something to be said for sitting on the side of a cliff waiting for sunset, you know.
Why are you lying in the undergrowth?
Because I'm absolutely petrified of heights. And why stand at the edge of a cliff and be petrified when you can connect your phone via the Lumix app to the S1R and watch it in glorious Technicolor on your phone whilst led down, clinging on for dear life. That's basically it. I much prefer landscape photography like this, I can tell you.
What?
Brilliant.
Lying down on the floor?
Yeah.
That's just lazy man's landscape photography. I mean, I'm not doing much better, I'm sitting down.
So Lee, we've had an amazing 36 hours in the Peak District. This is our final shoot this morning, this beautiful site. We're just hoping for some light just to come over those hills, aren't we?
We are, yeah. We've been getting some stunning reflections off the bridge there in the water, haven't we? And, I've got it looking like quite a minimalist type shot at the moment. And it's looking really, really good. But yeah, we just need a bit of light on that bridge. And I think the sun's going to rise over the hills behind us there and give us that in a little bit. So we'll tough it out for another half an hour after our 4:30 start this morning. But yeah, it's looking fantastic so far. The shot that I've got at the minute is I've gone for quite a minimalist type looking image, shooting it black and white. Yeah, a lot of the time I just go for what works for me by eye, but within that is, you know, I like images that are layered and things as well, but and I do like vanishing points and so on at the minute. So at the minute we've got a point coming down from the bridge and then from the hillside here, which is causing us a vanishing point in the corner. But then also there's a hill behind just in the mist, and that's giving us the layers that we're looking for, that I like. And just little bits and pieces like that just work for me, you know, and they're quite often naturally occurring as well. We just need to get in a position where all kind of three line up, really. We've got light on the trees behind us, so it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen.
Not this again.
Well, at least this time we're not standing in -10 in Iceland. So as you can see, the light came, it's lit the bridge absolutely beautifully. We've got the first 3 arches and the fourth one partially lit, with the rest in shadow going down to the deep shadow of the hillside there. It's lovely, you know, it's worked out really, really well.
Feeling a little smug?
Yeah, told you the light had happened, didn't I? And if you've enjoyed the video, hit like and subscribe, and don't forget that all important bell icon to get notifications of when we post more videos.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon.
Bye! In the water we go!